When they saw the video, that's when the police officer was like, yeah, we're going to file a report.
Guys, clear the stairs. Get out of here.
That's the same car! Here's another one! There's another one!
Dude, you're dragging him down the stairs. You know that, right? Whoa, whoa! You're on his face, man. You're on video.
There's been a feud that has erupted between some progressive activists and the Project Veritas, which is the James O'Keefe operation that is, most widely known for its sting of Acorn, which brought down a group that was organizing around affordable housing and other voting rights issues, but is still around, still doing a lot of work. You guys kind of carried out a counter sting against them recently that kind of got in their craw. Now you went up Sunday to New York City to infiltrate one of Project Veritas's events. Tell us a little bit about what happened.
Yeah, well, first of all, let me just say that I have a feud with anybody who takes advantage of innocent people and tries to manipulate them using deceit and to getting them to do something that might be wrong or immoral or illegal, and then tries to throw the book at them. And that's the MO of James O'Keefe and Project Veritas. They take people who are just trying to do their job, they have conversations with them and ask leading questions. Those people say something in response, and then they deceptively edit the video together.
Cat and mouse, game of gotcha.
Exactly. Right. And so what we did before even Sunday is, I had sat down with one of James O'Keefe's operatives, Allison Maass, where they're trying to pay me to incite violence and shut down a bridge at the inauguration, right? Unfortunately for her, the jig is up. I knew what she was trying to do. And so we did with the undercurrent.
You were filming yourself.
And we were filming her, right? So we could release the whole video if we want, right? So they don't get to deceptively edit it and then say, oh, it's just me doing the bad thing.
So where'd you get the idea for the Friends of Abe event? This is the Sunday night event. I don't know if it was a fundraiser or some type of event hosted by O'Keefe, or they were hosting O'Keefe at a bar in Midtown Manhattan.
So the way Friends of Abe works is you kind of got to know the secret password. Right, and as long as you've been given the secret password, the invitation, which is to say,
you get the secret password?
Yeah,
I've never been invited to a Friends of Abe.
Yeah, you get a good tip, and that's really it just spreads by word of mouth, right? And that's how people get invited. So they said to me, here's the password to get in. That's how most of the people show up there that night. They know somebody that gives them the password. So I, like them, showed up to this event.
What was the password? Do you remember?
Like-minded people, right? So I came in and I said, is this the Friends of Abe event? And they go, well, do you know the phrase? And I was like, well, like-minded people. And they're like, well, yes, then it definitely is a Friends of Abe event.
All right.
And I was like, okay,
so
great.
They need a new one. They need to change their password. Now, did you think, I'm right here, maybe I should just record this and just file this away rather than disrupt the event?
Well, he said the most important thing, which is that he got a call from Donald Trump.
Right.
And there's a one-to-one connection between James O'Keefe and the work that he does and Donald Trump.
Right.
Do I just leave now?
Right.
But I was like, I got a song to sing, wrote all these lyrics. James O'Keefe, he's a known liar, it's no secret. Benefits that he takes deceptively. All the girls know about the rape part and the allegations sexually. You can't take my property. You can't take my property.
You can take mine.
You can't take my property. And you're all on video. Please give me my property back. Please. That's assault. That's what your name is. That's assault. That's assault. That's assault. And you're on video. I'm being assaulted! I'm being assaulted! I'm being choked! That is assault and you are on camera! You can't take my property. Listen, you're invited. I'll leave. Please, get off of me. Hey, come on. Get off of me! Get off of me. Let me out of here!
I think his name is Ryan Clayton from the Undercurrent video. I'm really doing Ryan Clayton.
To detain me unlawfully! Fuck up. Unlawfully!
Trying to embarrass him in front of this crowd.
Well, I'm just bringing the truth to light, the Veritas to light, and they react very poorly to that. What's interesting is they don't react most poorly to that. At that point, they're kind of trying to grab at me a little bit and grab the stuff out of my hands, and they're restraining me a little bit, but it's when I say, and you're all on video, right, I sing that line,
and the room like erupts.
Well, this is a secret.
Because it's a secret meeting, right? Secret Republican meeting. And so that is when they freak out, and like 4 or 5 people literally jump me. And a guy puts me in like a military chokehold, which is like you put the larynx in the inside of the elbow and you squeeze to cut off the oxygen. And they push me down to my knees, and then he twists my neck like this, and I hear my neck pop like 6 times. And then he keeps twisting, and there's no more pops to give, you know. And there's a moment there where I'm like, this guy's literally gonna fucking kill me. Like, this is how I die. That's interesting, you know? And then somebody like puts my head on the table and like smashes my head on the table, so I'm out of the chokehold. And then they throw me down to the ground. They kick me, they knee me, they punch me. I don't really know like exactly how they're hitting me, but I got some serious back pain and neck pain from it. And then they drag me along the floor, which you can see in the video. They drag me along the floor to a stairwell, right? And I'm like, oh, boy, here we go. We're gonna go here now. And I'm thinking, oh, well, this is how I end up a paraplegic. You know, these guys are gonna throw me down a fucking stairwell. And we did file charges for assault 3, strangulation, and robbery, because they took a lot of the property that we had, one of the cameras, a kid's glasses, his iPhone. You know, and we told the police where they went with the Find My iPhone, you know, so they could have recovered the property. But that's about $1,000 in damages. You know, that takes it from, you know, petty larceny. I pick up your, you know, whatever, your water or your wallet off the desk, you know, walk away with it. If I'm physically altercation with you and I remove over $1,000 in property, that's like robbery.
And it's,
Just stand by. We're in the middle of investigation.
All right.
Give me a second.
All right. This is unbelievable. This is the guy who said that I was a sexual predator. He comes into the event and he attacks everyone. I mean, it's unbelievable. I just got assaulted.
One of the responses that O'Keefe had is he shows video of you out on the sidewalk, and you're standing, and you don't appear to look terribly damaged. And so he's implying that, well, it couldn't have been that bad. Maybe he got roughed up a little bit. He interestingly does not include any of the video from the time you're on the stage until the time you're out the door in his video.
Right.
Because apparently, I'm sure whatever video he has must not look good. But how would you respond to O'Keefe saying, well, look, here you are on the sidewalk, you're still standing, so therefore you weren't.
Well, I'd love to see his medical degree, you know what I mean? Because I don't think James O'Keefe is a trained medical professional. There's a lot of pain in my neck and my back. There's a lot of pain in the back and neck of the other kid that was involved. Not to mention just the craziness of the situation, right? And the impact it has to have a room of 100 people cheering.
What's the adrenaline like at that moment?
I mean, it's really high, and that's why you can actually get up and walk around, you know? And so what I did was I left the building, I got in a cab, I said, go 10 blocks north. I called 911, I said, I need you to meet me back here. We go back around to the bar, I wait for the police to get there, the police come out of their cars, I get out of the cab and I go, I'm the one that called 911. They're already talking to the other kid that got assaulted, which at the time I didn't know he had been assaulted. So we start talking and I say, look, you know, I just got the shit kicked out of me up in that bar. And they're like, oh, were you supposed to be here? And I'm like, whether or not I'm supposed to be here is not the question. You know, I didn't do anything illegal tonight. And people that hurt me and assaulted me did do something illegal. And they're like, well, did you get an invitation? And I'm like, I got an invitation the same way that everybody else got an invitation to this. You know, if you know the secret password, then you can come to the Friends of Abe meeting. And I knew the secret password.
So on the charges, what does it mean when you file charges? Like, so are they necessarily going to pursue an investigation? Do you think that they will go forward? Because when I talked to them, they didn't seem very enthusiastic, let's put it that way, about pursuing this case.
Well, the NYPD is dealing with some really serious crimes, probably on a nightly basis, right? So, you know, I understand the officers arriving on the scene, they're thinking, you know, is there going to be blood in the stairwell, right? And I know that they're just doing their job and they deal with a lot of difficult situations. What I will say is, I think when you talk to them, it was within a 24-hour period where they write up these reports. It gets put into a giant stack over the weekend. They got to file all those reports into a computer system, so maybe it hadn't shown up. They told me to show up the next day in the late afternoon in order to make sure that the report was filed. That's what we did. I went there. They still couldn't find the report. They had stacks of reports they were still going through. And I said, well, I need to make sure I'm filing a report before I leave town. And so they sat me down with a police officer. We filed a report. We amended the report for the robbery. And then they had me and the other guy that was assaulted talk to a detective for, I'd say, an hour and a half each.